Hi, and welcome to the Creative Courage Circle for the Great Big Green Week. We're at the Boiler Room in Guildford, and I have some wonderful creators with me on stage tonight, and a lovely audience out there as well. Woo! Yes! Eating pizza, drinking hot water. I like this. Very chilled, very nice. So my name's ERIKA. The Creative Courage Circle was born from lockdown. It started online, and the Boiler Room have kindly made it their home now as well, which is really fun. So the way it runs is a bit like a songwriting circle. So we do it in the round. We all get a little chance to talk about what we're doing. But I've also clashed it together with something that I used to do for my women's circles. We call it a pussy storm. And after every performance, I ask a question. So the first is a brag. The second is, what are you grateful for? And the final is to kind of send out into the ether, what do you want for yourselves as well? What would you desire for yourselves? So without further ado, I think I shall start. Oh, no, wait. I want to know a little bit about you. Yeah, so Dan McDonough, tell us a little about yourself.
I'm a scaffolder.
Great.
I studied art and design.
Great.
Graduated in 2012. And yeah, just been songwriting since then and finishing up a record soon.
Exciting.
Yeah.
And when's that going to come out, do you think?
Early next year.
Amazing. Title? Not yet.
No, they're too personal for me
TBA.
to express yet.
Woohoo! Okay, well,
I have
look
about
forward to
5.
that. Maybe we can chuck them out to everyone tonight and we can try and come up with something.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And we have the lovely Susie Campbell as well.
Well, hello, I'm Susie, and it's lovely to be here to be part of this circle. I'm a poet. I've published a few titles, but I'm also a trustee of a local environmental charity, Zero Carbon Guildford, and of course we're partly here tonight as part of Great Big Green Week.
Yeah.
And I'm also part of a group called Poets for the Planet. But I thought I would just explain in my introduction that I'm not really an eco-poet in the accepted sense. I don't really write directly about the environment or the climate, but my work does relate to that. My work's really about language and how we relate to the world through our language. And of course, language is involved in the power structures, the global power structures that have brought us to the brink of environmental crisis.
Absolutely.
So it is about the environment indirectly.
Yeah. Amazing, thank you. I look forward to hearing you. And Brooke and Harry we've got today as well, yeah.
I'm Brooke, and this is Harry. And I'm not very good at introducing myself, is the first thing you should know about me. I'm an artist, and I usually make cinematic electronica, I like to call it, with a lot of kind of orchestral stuff and electronic stuff. But today we're doing a bit stripped back. And I focus mainly on socio-political topics, environmental conservation, and kind of just the way the world is, I guess. Yeah.
Viewing it. Nice. And Harry, you're joining Brooke today.
Yeah, I'm Brooks, session guitarist. I'm normally on bass doing like lots of weird, pedally, ethereal sound effects. So this is like definitely a stripped back approach, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Fab. Oh, can't wait to hear it. And because I've only ever heard your stuff electric as well, so I'm really excited to hear it stripped back as well. Yay. And my name's ERIKA. I am also an electronic kind of dark left pop artist. I don't know. I've every month I've kind of talked about what has helped me through lockdown, and it always kind of stems back to nature. So actually, when the Boiler Room asked if we could do something for Great Big Green Week, it felt quite apt actually, because I felt like it's been such a healing process, just kind of stepping out and being in nature. So yeah, really pleased. So I'm actually going to start off with a poem by Tennyson. It's a classic, and I love the relationship that's written with the person who's talking about it from the first person, and the relationship between the environment and us as people as well. And it's such a beautiful feeling that we are not permanent. And I think that's something really special. So, The Brook by Alfred Lord Tennyson. I come from haunts of coot and hern. I make a sudden sally and sparkle out among the fern to bicker down a valley. By 30 hills I hurry down or slip between the ridges, by 20 thorps a little town and 100 bridges, till last by Philip's farm I flow to join the brimming river, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. I chatter over stony ways in little sharps and trebles. I bubble into eddying bays, I babble on the pebbles. With many a curve my banks I fret, by many a field and fallow, and many a fairy fallen set with willow, weed and mallow. I chatter, chatter as I flow, to join the brimming river, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. I wind about and in and out, with here a blossoming sailing, and here and there a lusty trout, and here and there a grayling, and here and there a foamy flake upon me as I travel, with many a silvery watery break above the golden gravel, and draw them along and flow to join the brimming river, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. I steal by lawns and grassy plots, I slide by hazel covers, I move the sweet forget-me-nots that grow for happy lovers. I slip, I slide, I gloom, I glance among my skimming swallows. I make the netted sunbeam dance against my sandy shallows. I murmur under moon and stars in brambly wildernesses. I linger by my shingly bars, I loiter round my cresses, and out again I curve and flow to join the brimming river, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. Love that. Yeah, just really, and the use of words and the language as well, it's gorgeous. Yeah, really nice. I think one of my bit was foamy flake. I love that. You can really see it, can't you? So my brag. What is my brag? My brag is that I allowed my armour to break the other day. I think, like many of us, we've had a really tough 18 months, and on top of that, I've had some family illnesses and other kind of disappointments that just make my skin tough. And my armour is very good. It's like, and I don't even realise I have it on until it breaks. And I think my brag is that I allowed it to come off the other day quite spectacularly, and then, rather than kind of build it back up again, I went to, I called my therapist, I called my friends, and they allowed me to be, and I had the tools around me to deal with that. And I think my brag is that rather than kind of buckling up and getting on with it, I allowed myself to fall to pieces and to let it be okay. And to go with my trusted friends and family around me to, to also see me in that way as well. So that's my brag. Thank you. Okay, Dan, what's your first song?
My first song is Folded.
Okay.
It's about a friend of mine, inspired by a friend of mine who was in a dark place. Not the basement, really dark place, and how the altered mind alters all, how you see the world, makes the world, and being in nature was a big part of that for him, and the folded comes from a Rilke poem where he says, "Where I'm folded, I'm a lie." I thought that was quite nice. the image of butterfly wings was quite nice as well. But I use moths in my song because they don't get enough good press. It's always butterflies. So, yeah. This is called Folded. Yes, you're tired, but so am I. But you're nowhere near goddamn tired enough. So wait. When you're feeling much too weak to face the daylight, and wait for the flowers, and wait, trust the hours. My mind's not sure I'm where it needs to be. Rotten fruit from a dying tree. I'm not the man I was. I'm a changing at what cost. Like moths in moonbeams every night, turn from darkness to its light. Wings of color hidden from your eye, don't lie folded, blindfolded. Take the birds who sing anew each coming day to a sky all full of rain. They call home, they call home, they call home. Feeling like I did today. It's hard to think of another way. So stay close, my friend. Take my hand again. Like moths in moonbeams every night, turn from darkness to its light. Wings of color hidden from your eye, don't lie folded, blindfolded. Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Dan, what's your brag?
I'm going to keep harping on about the album, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's such a feat to record music, as you probably all know. To record an album is, yeah, it strips you back. It strips down everything as a songwriter, the bare bones of the process, your own craft, you know, I'm not even sure I can write songs anymore. Very humbling, and to be nearly finishing that is a decent enough brag, I'd say.
Good brag.
Yeah.
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 Thank you. Thanks so much. Susie, what's your first poem going to be?
Well, this is a poem about how we shape our sense of a place through language, but it's a little bit surreal. It's based on a bit of a joke I had with a poet that I collaborated with in lockdown, and we joked that we could perhaps meet in the text, in our words on the page. So this is a poem exploring what that might mean, and by extension, how we shape our view of the world through our language. Field of Bears, for Christina. We agreed to meet in a field of bears, but how to reach across this linguistic constellation? Perhaps inside a pronoun, a collaboration past a muddy vehicle left at the edge of a field to rust. And we have our names, proper names, as a fluffy visitor's badge pinned to our pastel dungarees for the duration. And it doesn't have to be bears, we say, if we choose to meet without them. A field without bears is easy, right here. Past the rust and through that gate, or a gap in the hedge, or no gate and no hedge, because it is an open field. But there must be grass, and perhaps a tree, a fallen tree split in half by lightning, a dead weight in this half-light. But it is the full weight of the sun, and not a dead tree, but 6 trees, which make an orchard, those wasps, though, after the cider apples. We can meet here in this field if we bring a snake, but not if it's an orchard. It can be awkward for a woman and a snake in an orchard. And as well as a trope, we'll need a conjunction. But Christina and Susie, or Christina yet Susie, or Christina so Susie, and so we sit in the shade and watch it snow last year, when our minds were still green, and we talked about poetry then too. We meet here in a snow-covered orchard, no wasps, as the fruit is still ripening. But when will the growling stop if we decide not to bring in the bears? And their growling doesn't even matter, because they're wearing fur over their dungarees and a visitor's badge. But there must be grass and perhaps a tree, and at least we have agreed to talk about an orchard in the snow, although our pastel dungarees are a dead weight in this half-light. That was not on the map. And when will the growling stop if we're meeting in a field without bears for the duration of our meeting? And why are we wearing fur? But Christina and Susie, or Christina yet Susie, or Christina so Susie, and so we sit in the snow and watch as bears in pastel fur meet in a field for the duration of us.
Thanks so much, Susie. That was great. And what is your brag?
Well, I'm quite excited about my brag because I've got a new book coming out in the autumn. So it's just so lovely to work with lovely publishers. They're called Osmosis Press, and they're a new publisher, and they're really putting their heart into their publications. And so it's really exciting to bring this book out into the world and to share it with people. So I'm just really excited to see what people think of it and to respond to it and have a conversation about it. So yeah, I'm really excited.
What kind of a book is it?
So it's poetry.
Oh, it's poetry.
Yes, so it's a series of poems with a little essay that I've written about the poems, because I like to talk about my poetry, as you've probably already noticed. But it's also really lovely because another poet has written an essay as well, responding to the poems. And they're poems about a series of tapestries. And the other poet has actually created some of her own weavings as a response to the poems, and their pictures of those weavings are included in the book. So visually, it's really lovely.
And if we were to find it, how would we search it?
I would say, because it's just about to be released, so if anybody Googles Enclosures by Susie Campbell, published by Osmosis Press, they will find it.
Amazing.
So that's a very big brag.
That's a great brag.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to give that brag.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Just also to remind people that are watching at home, if you have any... we've got loads of messages already. Big up Brooke and Harry from Vanessa and Ryan. Loving the imagery the poem is evoking. Yes to the brag. That's for... Thank you. Lots of lovely, beautiful brags. Beautiful song, says Vanessa. And beautiful, lots of... Lovely, Dan. Can't wait for the album. And everyone needs to check that out. Dan's beautiful artwork online too. Extremely talented chap all round. Nice one, Susie. Fantastic poem, says Rodney. Yeah. So feel free to shout as well. It almost feels unfair that I'm reading messages and we have people here that you can just shout stuff, heckle us with beautiful, throw us a love grenade. That'd be great. So yeah, do feel free to chat and and shout things at us. And so Brooke, what's your first song?
Our first song is called We Don't Care About You, and it's about a certain person who caused quite a stir for a couple of years for multiple reasons, mostly negative, in the US, at the top of the pecking order, let's say. It's mainly from the point of view of a very entitled person who shouldn't be that entitled, let's say.
Great.
Let's make introductions quick and polite. Messy is weakness, so you're done playing nice. Life's too expensive and you're raising the price. And you've a history of not thinking things through twice. There's only one thing that can calm your appetite. The way that you live for the pure thrill of the fight. For once just act your age and swallow your pride. Swallow your pride. And tell me, when you're so high, do you ever look down? Do you dare to peer over the edge? Do you fall or can you stand with it? Disagreement's only gonna get in your head. Reroute your mind to somewhere beautiful. Don't smile, you've got to show your worthy soul. Man of the people, but whom are you speaking for? Better clean yourself up, cause that wound is still raw. Wound is still raw, wound is still raw. We don't care about, we don't care about, we don't care about. So come on, it's obvious you're not looking hard enough. It's just under your shoe. Are you finding your pockets are empty? Are you screaming for someone to save me? You bit off more than you could chew. Well, tell me, when you're so high, do you ever look down? Do you dare to peer over the edge? Reroute your mind to somewhere beautiful. Don't smile, you've got to show you what you saw. Man of the people, but whom are you speaking for? Better clean yourself up, cause that wound is still raw. Wound is still raw. Wound wind is still raw. Lines and manners, say your prayers, keep the gods under your bed. Fall from grace and here you are, afraid of what hides in the dark. But there's nothing left to savor. You've called in all your favors, and now what's left? You'll have to fire the gun yourself. Better clean yourself up, cause that wound is still raw. Wound is still raw. Wound is still raw. Thank you.
Brooke, what is your brag?
Brag time.
Yeah, brag time.
This is an intimidating question. I'm going to say my brag. I wasn't sure if I should mention this or not because it's kind of a downer. But I recently started asking for help with my mental health, which I had never done before in all my 21 years of existence, which is pretty appalling, to be honest. Yeah. It's mainly a product of 2020, which was a pretty dismal year for most of us. It's kind of the lowest my mental health has ever been, and it's been pretty low before, but I've kind of never felt that it would be productive or useful to kind of seek outside assistance and therapy and stuff. Because I kind of just thought, I can handle it on my own. And I couldn't handle it on my own anymore. So, yeah, I finally kind of reached out, and that was kind of a big stepping stone for me. So,
Great.
And also I have very cool shoes, so I'd like to brag about those, because I love them very much. There we go.
Great,
That's my
double brag. Double brag. Thank you, Brooke. Yeah, Harry. What's your brag?
Yeah, go on. Oh, that made me emotional. I'm very proud.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit of a personal one, but this year has been the first time that I've properly kind of investigated is maybe a weird word, but got involved with my heritage and my family ancestry and stuff like that, and it's kind of led to just quite some amazing breakthroughs and talking to family members all across the world that I didn't know that I had, and the other day got some cornrows in, making some ackee curry. And it was really, I guess the brag is the ackee curry.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, yeah. It was good. It was good, man.
Great brag. What a great brag. Thank you, both of you. We've got some amazing messages here. Brooke Egypt says, you guys are really fantastic. Vanessa says, yay, Brooke. Another from Vanessa, Brooke and Harry compliment each other so well, bravo. Katie Hector, who actually we're going to listen to in a minute, loving this Brooke, beautiful voice and interesting music, perfect union. And Vanessa says, Brooke's songs always carry a great message and so beautiful. And Brooke Egypt says, I'm in love with their performance. Yeah, so much love. Okay, so Dom says, great brag. Asking for helps make you an absolute hero. And Fen says, thank you for your vulnerability and your incredible voice, Brooke. And Harry, what a pleasure it is to hear you play. We're going to do something a bit different, actually. I've never done this before. So my dear friend Katie, who is listening and watching, she's so supportive and an incredible artist. and her project is Solace in the Sky. And she's just created an absolute masterpiece of an album. And she self-produced it. It started from her having chronic fatigue and from touring and what crazy impact it has on your body. And it kind of made her stop gigging and stop doing shows. But she kind of created her creative energy into this beautiful album. So she taught herself to produce, and she really did everything from scratch and just made this beautiful, beautiful album. And so do go and find her. So Solace in the Sky. And the album is called The Witching. And the song I'm going to play is called Always the Birds. And as I mentioned before, during I think when I mention what I'm grateful for, I've said nature a lot of the time. And actually, for me, this song really pinpoints that as well. How, you can be walking through the city and all you need to do is look up and you actually see a whole new world. Or you might need to look at a crack and you see this little flower popping through the cement. And, it's just taking note, isn't it? It's taking note of other things other than, making that money, getting the next gig, doing the next thing, and actually just kind of taking a step back and account. And if you're listening at home, I would definitely put headphones in, and you guys close your eyes and breathe. Just enjoy these next 4 minutes of sounds and yourself and being here and making it out. So yeah, so here's Solace in the Sky, and this is Always the Birds.
So I walk these city streets, stone beneath and grey above me. Hardened ground impacts my feet, shakes my bones and aches to the knee. Branches bearing only bark, fences crowned in jagged wire. Beyond windows, only dark. For breath of life, I must look higher. But there's always the birds. There's always the birds. And as we drive a sunless road that plunders through the English green, burdened by a heavy load, I cast my eyes upon the sea. Palisades and cityscapes, linear and uninvited, dark outline, posing shapes. I look above to let the light in. There's always the birds.
Yeah, so that's Solace in the Sky. Yeah, it's stunning, absolutely stunning, and just a beautiful album. So The Witching is the album. Yeah. So well done, Katie. You're watching at home. What am I grateful for? I think, well, seeing as I've just played Solace in the Sky's music, I think I'm grateful for friends who push themselves creatively and we support each other through times that, you know, when we're struggling, you know, you can call up and going, I can't fucking write this song. And they're like, go and have a cup of tea. It's all right. It will come out when it's meant to come out. I think I'm really grateful to having a good kind of creative support network in that respect as well, with husband included. What? Yeah, so that's what I'm grateful for. Short and sweet. Dan, what's your next song?
My next song is called Snowman.
Slow Man.
Snow.
Snowman.
Yeah, much better title. Yeah, I just realised, particularly my own sort of vision was being compromised by technology and screens, you know, as we're all victims of that. And wanting to change how you exist. And snow's a good metaphor for that because you can go and hide in it. Same as rain. There's a nice anonymity with those sort of weather systems. And just trying to see the beauty in the world, balancing that with the bad. Because you can get bogged down in politics, I think, and it's not good for art making. You know, when a society was sick back in the day, they'd go to the shaman at the edge of the village in a hut. And now we have the poets, so it's to them my turn, and I need that sort of spiritual regeneration. And yeah, I'm rambling now, but this song came out of that mindset.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
Great.
Snow, won't you snow and drill, sift down with me. I need to hide, to secret away and whirl in midnight light. Moon, bright enough to read by, bright enough to see, fleeting memory, an altar cloth laying over land like a friend taken by the hand. Snow evening, night's love letter to the day. Nearly forgot you, but night's book had a lot to say. Had a lot to say. like this town wrapped in blankets of snow. When your heart faces winter's trial, let it fall by the warmth in a smile. Oh. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Dan, what are you grateful for?
Just the basic stuff, I think. Friends, family, they're the underpinning of it all. God, I'm really thankful to him. The gift of life, the blackbird song, oak trees,
Yeah.
dogs.
He was dreaming to your song just then, dancing away with his paws.
And the opportunity to do this sort of thing, you know, communicate, and it's a very communal thing. You need that.
Absolutely.
No man is an island and all that. So yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. You deserve it all.
Thank you.
Susie, what's your next piece for us?
Well, having said at the beginning that most of my poetry isn't directly about the environmental crisis, actually this next one sort of is. One of the things that we know about the environmental crisis is it's likely to lead to a lot more displacement of people as they try to escape the negative impact of the crisis on where they live. So this poem is really about how this country has struggled to cope even with the current refugee crisis and foreshadows what may still be to come.
Okay, thank you.
This is D-Day for M. Puisiceau, CEO of the Port of Calais, only 21 miles from Calais to Dover. On this beach, we sit down and weep. On the weekend before the clearance, there are violent clashes. Refugees throw stones at the police, who retaliate with tear gas. We are so tired, but we play cricket on the sand and sing. On a clear day, we can see the coast, but we are afraid for winter, and every day there is rain. We are soaking wet, so we get ourselves together in an orchard. We dream of the blossom and the cherry. We sit against a tree and dream of a bird with white feathers. On the first day of the Exodus, hundreds of people form a queue in front of a warehouse for processing. They are shipped out in white buses. Unaccompanied minors are housed in freight containers. Then there are no trees. No help comes. About 300 children are turned away, and many are standing under a nearby bridge, not knowing what to do. There are no trees, just a wire fence. The Chancellor describes the situation in Calais. There is an ear of corn on our lips, and our lips are so dry. There are large numbers of desperate migrants marauding around the area. Most come from conflict zones: Somalia, Eritrea, Iraq, Yemen, Sudan, Syria, Afghanistan. We sleep if we can, or even on the ground where we buried him. He was cutting our hair, how we were joyful and sang songs, but now we dream of birds with no feathers. In our tents, we sit down and weep. Only 21 miles from Calais to Dover. How will we remember? This now is our D-Day.
Thanks, Susie. Really poignant right now as well. So what are you grateful for?
Well, I think I want to echo quite a lot of what Dan has said, particularly about being here with all of you. I'm really grateful for the creative people that I've had the opportunity to collaborate with. There's some really lovely publishers, visual artists, musicians who I've been able to work with, and I love that bringing together of poetry with other art media. And so I feel really privileged that I've had that opportunity, and to take part in this kind of event, I'm just so enjoying hearing everybody's work. It's really amazing work, and to participate is just, this is just my idea of heaven, really. So, truly, truly grateful to have those opportunities. It just feels like a great privilege.
Oh, well, again, you deserve it too. Thank you.
It's lovely to be here.
Lots of lovely messages coming. I'm just going to quickly backtrack. So Vanessa says, and this relates to you, Dan, forever grateful for the creativity of others, including all those talents present here. Thanks, Vanessa, and especially for music, poetry, and art. So lots of hand claps. Nice songs, says Bernadine, listening in from Holland there. Gretchen from France, clapping her hands. Mark Richardson says, beautiful, Dan, thank you. He's just sat there, but he didn't shout it, he wrote it. And Vanessa says, bravo, Dan, and like your brag. And Vanessa hand claps for you as well there, Susie. That's great. While I remember as well, if you would like to tip these wonderful artists, because as we know, art is wonderful, but it is also worth something as well. So do feel free to, I think Lydia's going to pop a PayPal link down in the chat in a minute. So those of you watching at home, if you want to tip these amazing artists, all the money goes to them. So please give lots. Brooke, what's your second song?
The second song is called Reasoning. I didn't know we were going to be discussing a bit about the songs beforehand, and that's intimidating because half of my songs I have no idea what they're about, and I just make up something after the fact, and it kind of follows. I guess this song is basically about I'm somebody who's very prone to panic attacks. I've had many a panic attack in my day, and when I've noticed that when I'm kind of in a place of complete hysteria out of fear or anxiety, it's really hard to come out of that. It's kind of hard to pull away from that, because at that moment, whatever has kind of made me spiral, my body kind of feels the need to go further into it, and to kind of it's kind of a catharsis. I don't know. This is kind of about that fear kind of pulling you in rather than you getting out.
Got it.
Here we go again, digging my way through. I believe it now and then. Somehow I can get to you, but I can't find the time, I can't find the mind to do it. Between wrong and the right, blind I'm invited into it. But I can't take your hand away. That poison just gets me, and I'll go blind, I'll feel my way to the reasoning, to the reasoning, to the reasoning. So here we go again, like I don't remember you. Take my thoughts and play with them. Somehow I'll get to you, but I can't find the time, I can't find the mind to do it. I know I'm losing the fight, can give up when I might just get through it. 'Cause I can't take your hand away. Their poison just gets me, and I'll go blind. I'll feel my way to the reasoning.
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to go for more. I was like, more. Thank you, Brooke. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for, at the moment, I'm really grateful for my musicians, Harry, who is obviously here, my bestie, and Ryan, who is not here today, but who usually drums for my set. And we recently did, a couple of days ago, we did a set at Isle of Wight Festival, which was actually my first performance. I think it was yours and Ryan's, since COVID.
Yeah.
Since the virus that shall not be named, which was terrifying because it was over a year ago that we last performed. So it was the first gig back, and it was quite a big gig back. And I was a complete mess getting ready for the gig. I was absolutely terrified. And those two kind of kept me semi-sane. I don't think they could keep me completely sane, to be honest. I don't think that's possible. But yeah, they're both great at kind of reassuring me and just keeping things on track. And they're just the backbone of the whole set. So yeah, grateful for you guys.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Just wait. Yeah, I'll be a bit grateful.
Yeah,
too.
Harry,
Yeah.
what are you grateful for?
I mean, it's what's been echoed before. But yeah, just kind of got off a pretty intense phone call with some family about a bit of bad news, and it kind of just brings everything into perspective, and it's just like the very basic things, just friends and family. That's it, really.
Yeah.
It's literally it. Very
Absolutely.
simple. Yeah.
Thanks, Harry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What was it? Human givens, the things that we need. It's quite simple, actually, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, look, lots of messages coming in. Gretchen says, I could listen to Susie read every book in the library. And Vanessa says, I could listen for hours to Brooke and Harry. Okay, so it's my last song. And I'm actually going to perform one of mine. So this is a song called Dot to Dot. And I wrote this song, I suppose, inspired by that picture of the world being that pale blue dot, and how we are just dots, just little pixels, kind of, if you draw us, go right out, we're not seen, and I mentioned before about the poem, how I really like that feeling of not being that important, and actually, when you think about it like that, all the things that worry you almost go away, and there's a less of a pressure in that respect to know that we're not permanent, and actually. The little small things that we do and connect to each other and each and every person you meet, whether it be good or bad transition, is still a connection. And normally I play this song with an instrument that I've built made out of rope, and I connect the whole audience together and we hold hands. But since COVID has happened, I don't know how everyone feels about holding hands. So I'm just going to perform this piece. And yeah, so it's called Dot to Dot, and it's from my last EP called Bugeisha. Mind out equals the storm. Pressing the sun, girls lost in that good woods, twisted, twirled, and bush heads turn. stage of life presents this time. Dots, 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 hold on. Reaching, talking on. Real pixels of everyday life, too small to be seen, too small to be seen. Dots, 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 connecting these dots. Dots, 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 connecting. Connecting, reaching, lost dots, lost dots. We live on a pale blue dot. Men lost in feminine words, sucked, kicked, punched. Lost boys. Dots, 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 hold on. Reaching, talking on. Real pixels of everyday life. Too small to be seen, too small to be seen. It's dots, 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 connecting these dots. Dots, 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 connecting, 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 connecting. Thank you. Okay, what do I desire for myself? I desire for none of my chickens to die more. I found a dead chicken yesterday. I've got a dead chicken. I know, it was really sad. So yeah, I hope the other two stay alive. It's quite a shock, actually. Yeah, so I do desire that, but I think I can come up with a better one. I desire to write more songs. It's been a really, Brooke and I were talking about this earlier, it's been a really hard couple of years, actually, to try and write for me. Lots of, especially because I want to write an album about fertility. And so I've been going through a fertility journey at the moment, which has been really tough. And I think when you're in it, sometimes it's really hard to write about it and you need time to process. So I think I've got to the point now with this project where I know it's going to happen. And so my desire is it's going to happen, but I'm not going to put the pressure on myself for this to be my next project. I think it's something that's going to be long term. So I'm just going to write songs, and I'm sure when the time comes for me to process certain parts of that journey, then they're going to be kept for that project. So yeah, that is my desire, for me to write that album and to know it will be written. Yes. Thanks. Dan, what's your last song going to be?
My last song is called In Pursuit of Spring. And it's directly inspired by the British poet Edward Thomas and his relationship to the natural world and how that informed his poetry, because he was a real depressive. He had it pretty bad, I think. Yeah, so I can relate to that. I'm not depressive, but I can relate to being in nature and it being a fuel for your artistic practice, you know. He was friends with the American poet Robert Frost, you know. And Frost's famous poem, The Road Not Taken, was a gentle mock at Thomas's indecision on which route to take on their many walks together. But Thomas took it seriously, apparently, and not long thereafter enlisted in 1915 to go to war. 2 years later, the Battle of Arras, he was shot clean through the chest at 39. So this is just but a small sort of nod to his marvellous poetry, I think. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going, but I'm not quite sure when I'll be back. 'Cause I'm chasing the springtime with winter upon my back. And the road's a grey river after the rain. I wondered where it'll take me, but I'm not sure I care. Sees the butterfly, the trees and the hillsides alive enter my mind. Darkness subsides. And you, pale of skin and brown of eye, allow me my silent companion and a clear blue sky. Like the hawk flying unseen in his province of light. Sees the butterfly, the trees and the hillsides alive enter my mind. Darkness subsides. Thank you. Thank you.
Dan, what do you desire for yourself?
To desire less, I think. Oh, that was left field, wasn't it? I also desire stuff as well. Yeah, to write more songs is a good one. Better songs. Actually, I do write loads of songs, just write better songs. Yeah. For every 100 song, there might be 2 in there that are worth pursuing. Yeah, I'll leave it there, I think.
Great. So it shall be for more, for less, for more songs and better songs.
Lovely.
Great.
That'll do.
I'll drink to that. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
We're going to go around again as well, so everyone can know where to find you and stuff. So
Cool.
yeah, great. And Susie, what will your last performance be tonight?
Well, funnily enough, as almost the opposite to Dan's, that Dan was responding to a poet, and my last poem is responding to a song and a musician, but a medieval song and a medieval musician, so not quite as recent as Edward Thomas, but so I think it's an interesting reversal. Troubadour songs traditionally started with what they called the razzo, which gave the circumstance of how the song came to be written. So I'm going to start with a little bit of a razzo, which will hopefully give you an insight into what I'm experimenting with here. And I took your suggestion seriously, ERIKA, to try out some things in this Creative Courage Circle. So it's a little bit of an experiment.
Great.
But I should just explain, first of all, the song that this is based on is called A Chanteur Mère. It's the most famous love song of Beatrix de Dier, who was a troubadourette, that's a female troubadour, in medieval southern France. It's one of the few troubadourette songs to survive, but its language, Occitan, is under threat as a spoken language, and it's listed in the Red Book of Endangered Languages, which is the counterpart to the Red List of Endangered Species. So when I was working on this text, I prepared it by gradually removing from it all the letters of the title of the song, and that kind of creates a stuttering in the text. So it sounds a bit strange, I warn you, but it's a deliberate stuttering. It's as though the song is reaching us through radio interference, and it's a way of enacting what we lose by extinction, not just the extinction of a language, but obviously of a whole species. A Chanteur Mère. I don't want to sing about this. I will sing about this. Chanteur Mère de zo quo novori, a voice once of Beatrix. This voice a huskiness clogging on tar, chokes on syrup of coffee, once of Beatrix de Dier, barely a whisper, a breath through Beatrix and this long day of bleached terrace and dry stone wall, while a voice, I am so resentful even while I love you. Do you think it's fair that I am strong and beautiful, yet still you but me? As the wind in dry last leaves stills in the bruised and violet, or stifled in headlines, litters in a trail of unread. I cannot make the translation exactly, as only these fragments remain. What's lost is. I might well be silent, comme de crasser sur vos divines, a voice, this voice of Beatrix, congeals on the tongue, then starts to separate. Consonants form a rind on sour vowels, no longer de Dier, any farewells unspoken, unsung. I am so fin. Vo le medium oprets et mop ej but e plumof Ch. You must love me in the bruised and violet, a voice once of Beatrix, no longer clay, this rind on sour vowels, a huskiness clogging on tar and cartons. This voice starts to separate consonants drifting in dry last leaves. S, wa, a, m, send, g, you, is, son, prive, a message, ou, wa, air, you live as the wind almost Beatrix, a breath through Beatrix and the dust, stagnates in plastic bags and advancing deadlines. Nor can I be sure of pronunciation. You sound out cha or sha. I say fake or facsimile. You say ah or ache. I w-n o no wa I you've e do you ika you deserve b you p it will l d t f l. A voice. This voice, a voice as the wind, almost in bruised and violet. This long daydream, a breach through Beatrice, air whistling through and scattering. De, se, qua, o, vo, I. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susie. Susie, what do you desire for yourself?
Well, I think now I desire for your 2 chickens to live as well. I'm concerned about your chickens.
I know.
But even more seriously than chickens, my real desire is that poetry and music and the arts will have an impact on our thinking about climate crisis and the environment. I don't think any one song or any one poem or one wonderful piece of art will do that, but collectively, in the way that we are producing work and that people are responding to it, I don't think it will, that in itself it's not the solution, but I think it's part of that whole cultural change and emotional change and intellectual change that gradually and incrementally may bring us back from that brink. So obviously that's my deepest desire.
Oh, so it shall be. So it shall be. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Thank you, Susie. Just quickly catch up on some of the messages here. Gretchen says, touching performance, ERIKA. Thank you, Gretchen. Rodney says, success is finding time to write. Absolutely, yeah, just that little moment just to jot something down. Really beautiful, ERIKA. Sounded absolutely stunning at home through my telly. And always, you look gorgeous, my friend. So sorry about your chicken. Katie says, love this song, Dan. Can't wait to own a copy of it. Yes. Lots of hand claps. Love your voice and guitar, Dan. Great song. Beautiful, Dan, says Vanessa and Gretchen. So Vanessa says, love the troubadour songs. Dom's clapping her hand. And I think Vanessa says, really makes the point. I think the missing of the letters, it really does come across, actually. It's great that the absence, absolutely. So, yeah, great. Brooke, what's your last song going to be?
It's called Swear. And it's a couple of years old because you were one of the first people to hear this, probably.
Love this song.
And it's essentially about a mutually abusive relationship where both parties are kind of incredibly toxic and damaging towards one another, but they both kind of stay in it. And I think it can be applied to the climate crisis in a lot of ways, although that is a bit more one-sided rather than mutually damaging. But I think it kind of still holds true in that sense that particularly humans, we kind of just think we can take, and a lot of us only now are starting to realise that we do have to kind of reel it in a bit and give back. But the earth also kind of has its ways of saying, you know, you've gone a bit too far now, and we're both kind of relentless towards each other. So, yeah, that's what it's about.
Thank you.
'Cause I could be a fool for you, and you could play me with every word you said, and I'd be happy to oblige, go along with the lie. Oh, my king, my queen, my lover, my everything. And you should not take this lightly, I swear, as I hold your shirt to stop you drifting with the tide. But deep is the cut from your line, and I'm winded so easily tonight. These days I can't keep my words to myself, not at all. I should just stay quiet in your arms, but you let me tear you down. You let me strip you bare and leave you a bleeding mess on the ground. There's no surviving anywhere. There's no surviving anywhere. You let me tear you down. You let me rip out your hair and leave you a bleeding mess on the ground. There's no surviving anywhere. There's no surviving anywhere. If you would only cut me free, let me loose to outrun the world. I come crawling back with roses just so I could see you smile, and then leave them to wilt and die. And I know I'll have to watch you go over and over. Every time I'll come back like a dog to its owner until the day I die. 'Cause sometimes you even let me win. You let me tear you down. You let me rip out your hair and leave you a bleeding mess on the ground. There's no surviving anywhere. There's no surviving anywhere. Trust that you won't do it again. If you can't let it go now, you won't let go. Then just pretend you're a friend till I'm on your side. It's just too much. It's just too much. It's just too much. Is it love you're looking for? Is it love you're looking for?
Thanks. You just kicked me in the feels right there. Stunning, stunning song, really is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Brooke, what do you desire for yourself?
I desire to First of all, I desire to make enough money from my music that I am able to properly compensate the people who work with me and lend their time, because I ask a lot of my bandmates, and I'd love to be able to properly show my thanks, because we're all, let's be honest, all musicians are poor unless you're Taylor Swift or somebody right up there. So we all need a bit of the monetary compensation at the moment, and I just really, one day I really want to be able to properly give them that.
Yeah.
And also I desire to write some songs that I actually can have faith in, because I've lost a lot of my trust in myself and have been plagued by quite paralyzing self-doubt and just kind of have a very warped perception of my work at the moment. So I'm hoping that will wear off soon, because at the moment it's a bit of a burden to deal with. And yeah, then the music will be coming, but yeah, that's my
Absolutely.
desire.
Well, we all hope that for you, because it's not what we're hearing. Absolutely, yeah, and I totally relate on that. And Harry?
Yeah, am I okay?
Yeah, what do you desire for yourself?
I guess for someone to tip enough money for a beer, that'd be really nice. No, I'm joking. No, I think, I don't know. I think I'm kind of on the cusp of a few projects and creative ideas at the moment, and it's just, I'm taking my sweet time to kind of get them to happen. So just doing that.
Great.
Just doing things.
Yeah, and I think you're going to come back here and do your own thing in a couple of months' time.
See you there.
And possibly Brooke might be supporting you too, maybe.
Yeah, a bit of cello. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, so that would be cool. So we'll look forward to that.
Great.
We desire to see you back here, both of you as well.
Yeah, great.
Well,
what a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for you guys coming as well, hanging out on a Tuesday night. I really appreciate it. And for those of you watching at home, big love to all of you guys for watching. Your amazing support here online as well. It's really great that this has come, and it feels like we continue to be connected all around the world. Everyone's giving you so much love here. I really hope you can catch up with the messages. And we will drop a PayPal link in this chat as well, so people can get paid for their time and their travel to get here as well. And thank you so much. Oh, I've got, so if you enjoyed the performance and you are at home, please do like and subscribe on the Boiler Room YouTube channel so that you will know. I know, I finally said it. It's been months, I keep forgetting. So please do like and subscribe. I don't know where I'm pointing, somewhere here I think it is. And our next session is on October the 10th, and it's for Black History Month as well. So it's all black artists and celebrating them on stage here, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful night. So do book in the 10th of October back here at the Boiler Room, and we'll see you there. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to all these others. Where can we find you? Dan, where can we find you?
Spotify.
Yeah, so
DannyMcDonough.com. Yeah.
Great.
Instagram.
All the same.
iTunes, all there.
Brilliant. And Susie, where can we find you?
I nearly forgot. On my website, Susie Campbell Writes, or on Twitter, just at Susie Campbell.
Great, thank you. Brooke?
Me. Where you can find me? Sorry. You can find me at Brooke Music on all platforms. That's BRUCH, not like the brook.
Not like the poem.
Like the brook. Yeah. Everywhere.
Yay. And so, Harry, should we say where we can find you? Or should we keep it No, let's find you. Yeah, go on. No? It's Brooke's. Brooke's moment. Yeah.
Harry's going through a rebrand right now, so
rebrand.
Once that comes out, you'll be notified where you can find him.
Mark, can you get Dan's pizza as well?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Okay, cool. And I'm ERIKA. You can find me on officially erika.com or .co.uk. Also, I have a floor, a bit like Patreon, called thefloor.com, where you can pay a monthly subscription or join for free a month. And I upload covers, new music, videos, all sorts every month. And yeah, it's a little lovely community there. So yeah, thank you so much. This is a lovely team at the Boiler Room. Thank you so much. Bailey, Amber, Beth, amazing sound and visuals. Thank you, thank you. And is it Lydia on bar as well? So thanks, everyone. Yeah, we're done. Thank you.